Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with InsideTheU. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to recap Miami's 4th spring practice. A lot to talk about, a lot of big plays, which I'm excited about. Also, we were able to talk to 4 assistant coaches after practice today. Alex Mirabal on the offensive line, Frank Ponce, who coaches quarterback, Stephen Field with the tight ends, and then also Kevin Smith at running backs. And I was able to ask a good question that I've been wanting to know to Coach Smith, so I'll definitely get to that. First off, let's talk about the big plays. The biggest play that we were able to see today, and again, full pads, which was great, and we were able to see about 45 minutes, shoot a bunch of stuff. Definitely check out the channel later. I'll have a lot of video on the defensive line. I was finally able to get that video. Also, the linebackers got some good stuff with drills there, but I'm excited about the defensive line because it's not always easy to get. And just real quick on that, before I get to the big plays, Jordan Miller at defensive tackle is a guy that I'm interested in seeing how he continues to progress throughout the spring. He's a guy that's been rotating in with that first unit, Jared Harrison-Hunt, Jake Lichtenstein, and Leonard Taylor. All 4 of those guys are pretty much getting a lot of 1 and 2 reps. They're kind of rotating in quite a bit, but Jordan Miller is just a guy we don't talk about very often. I've talked about Leonard, obviously, Jake, the excitement of him transferring over from USC. So just with those guys, and Jared, obviously there's a lot of excitement about Jared with his athleticism. Can he put together a full season now that he's got a few years under his belt? So just want to keep in mind with Jordan Miller, saw him do some good things in some drills, and you'll get a chance to see that. Okay, let's get right to the big plays. The biggest play of the day, and arguably the biggest play that we've seen in those first 4 days of practices, was a bomb by Tyler Van Dyke to Keyshawn Smith, 65 yards, post route over the middle. Keyshawn did a great job creating a lot of separation from DJ Ivey down the field. Safety just wasn't, it seemed to be in a good position, but just he was not the guy in charge. It was DJ Ivey, could not handle Keyshawn on a man-to-man coverage, going deep downfield. I thought it was great to see them come down with that play. There were other big plays in the passing game that we saw today, and it felt like the offense had the better day. Again, just from the sequences that we saw, we were able to watch some 11-on-11 action and some 7-on-7 stuff, but that's what we saw today. I want to get to some other big plays. Let's stick with Keyshawn Smith. He had an opportunity for another 60-yard touchdown. Corey Couch was guarding him. This time it was on the right side of the field, and it looked like he had separation. It looked like a straight go route from what I could tell. And Corey tripped him at the last second there. It definitely was a pass interference call. It looked like Keyshawn had him beat downfield. Not as noticeable as the one that he beat DJ Ivey on, but good sign, good day overall for Keyshawn Smith coming down with those big plays. I thought it was great to see, again, both of those passes coming from Tyler Van Dyke. There was a play that Jacoby George had deep downfield, again from Van Dyke. He looked like he beat Al Blades. It was definitely a much tougher catch. I felt like he short-armed a little bit, did not come down with the ball. I thought he had an opportunity there. It didn't look like, from what I could tell, that Al got his hand on the ball, but Jacoby's got to come down with that. And I did see him make a nice catch later in practice, which was great to see that he bounced back. It was definitely a shorter pass, maybe about a 15-yarder or so, but he was able to catch that ball and kind of get upfield a little bit. So that was good to see. He made James Williams miss on kind of the run after the catch there. So good to see him kind of bounce back, but he's got to make all the catches, particularly downfield, but he did make some catches, so I thought that was good. And I do want to point out on that big throw to Keyshawn Smith on 11-on-11 that I just mentioned, right before that, I thought it was interesting. Miami goes short route. It looked to Jacoby, kind of on a play action or option read, or whatever they're calling their action with their quarterback stuff, with their draws and things like that, however they're calling it. Tyler pulled the ball, threw a quick pass over the middle behind Jacoby, who didn't really have a chance to catch it at all. Short pass, dropped incomplete. So I thought it was great that Tyler bounced back on the very next play with that big throw down the field to Keyshawn. So a good sequence for Tyler and bouncing back. They are asking Tyler to roll out, make plays like that, where he's got to use his feet, quick reads. It's not the drop back all the time, drop back and just throw it. So Tyler's kind of making some adjustment there. Another guy a couple guys on offense I do want to mention that I thought had nice plays. Elijah Arroyo, the tight end. I thought he struggled a little bit from what I could see that first week. Again, not out there all the time, but he struggled a little bit. I thought he could have been better, could have made more catches. Today he made more catches. Today he had a good day. Getting downfield, making different catches there, and I thought that was good. He had this really nice catch where he came back on the ball in the middle of the field in front of James and then spun off of it and got upfield. So I thought that was good that he, that run after the catch stuff that we've talked about with the wide receivers. We've talked about it with Elijah. We've seen it a little bit last year, but he has that ability. So a good day for Elijah, good bounce back. So I thought he did a good job. And just a quick note on the tight ends. Coach Field talked after practice, just briefly, but he did. My big takeaway with what Coach had to say was just that they don't want to put tight ends in a certain role where they just catch the ball or they just block. He wants guys to be well-rounded with all their guys. So he even mentioned Dominic Mammarelli, a guy that we don't talk about very often, but he had a nice day. He said he made some catches today. So just a nugget there with the tight ends. We'll see how Will Mallory does throughout the spring as well. Another thing I want to make mention of is the wide receivers. We've touched on the deep passes, but I thought they did a good job being physical in their short passing game. Again, they're expected to block in the passing game, and I thought they did a good job of that today. I thought they were physical. They did a good job getting their hands on the defensive backs, creating space for their teammates. Just a good tone setter that they want to have early in spring practice, moving on the rest of the spring. So I thought that was good. They definitely need to keep doing that. And overall, I didn't feel like the defense was as physical as you'd like to see today. First day in pads, you'd like to see the defense providing a lot of hits, a lot of big plays. It's not that they weren't doing well at times in drills and things like that. I did get to see some defensive line versus the offensive line stuff. So that was good to see. But I thought the offense just looked better today as a whole. I do want to mention Jake Garcia. Tyler had the big plays. Jake did have a nice deep pass, nice throw to Keyshawn Smith. It looked like he beat Gilbert Frierson on the play. So good to see Jake as well getting downfield. This one was with Keyshawn, he starts out in the slot, he caught it near the sideline, deep pass. It didn't go for a touchdown, but maybe 30, 40-yard catch. So good pass by Jake. I always like when quarterbacks are able to get the ball downfield. Tyler did an excellent job. And then Jake in that moment, running with the twos, did a good job getting the ball downfield as well. I want to talk a little bit about what the coaches had to say today and start with Coach Smith. And I brought it up on a video here because Coach, when he was a player at Southridge, under the radar guy, has a monster career at UCF, over 2,000 yards rushing, and the season goes into the NFL. So I asked him today, and he smiled, so he definitely liked the question, the topic, I asked him, what did he look for as a running back coach that maybe coaches missed on him as a player? What did he feel like he had that maybe the big time coaches didn't know that he had? And so I thought it was good. I'll have an article on InsideTheU.com with his full report, his full answer there. But basically the takeaways that I had was he's looking for guys that are football players, maybe don't necessarily have all the speed or intangibles or the physical attributes, but definitely the intangibles. The love of the game is big to him. So he's looking for those things, and guys that just know how to play the game and know how to make plays. So definitely keep that in mind as Miami recruits running backs under Coach Smith, that he's going to be paying attention to those things. So in my mind, I think he's definitely going to be looking at those productive guys at the high school level. He wants to see big time performances and things like that. I think that will be big. And then finding out when you recruit players as coaches, you can quickly find out who loves the game. And I know that's a topic that maybe doesn't make sense to everybody because you're thinking they play the game, they definitely love it, but there's a difference, with the passion and the love of the game that some players have and some players don't. It's just part of it. And through recruiting, talking to people, talking to everybody, teammates, coaches, people in the building, all kinds of people, family, you can find out these kinds of things, and I think Coach Smith is definitely going to do that. So he had some good things to say about Thad, as well as Henry Parrish. Didn't see Cody Brown out there today, so we'll find out what's going on with there. And obviously Don and Jalen, red jerseys, limited, not doing much, or they're ruled out, so I didn't see them doing much today at all, but they were out there. So just kind of moving on with the other coaches, Coach Frank Ponce, I thought it was good what Coach Mirabal had to say about him. They were rivals on the field as players and coaches at the high school level here in Dade County. grew to become really close coaches when they coached at FIU together and have remained close since. Coach Mirabal talked about just how good of a teacher Coach Ponce is, and he kind of uses the reference of he can coach any position. He could come out here tomorrow, coach offensive line, coach running backs, he can coach the defensive line, he can coach, he even flipped it around and said he can coach baseball or volleyball, whatever it might be. He's a teacher, he knows how to teach athletes different things about the game, and I think that's great. Particularly, I think that's great at the quarterback level. You always want a guy that can communicate, a guy that can teach the game and really get down to certain things, because it's it's certainly a position where you got to think a lot. There's a lot going on. You're dissecting film, and you're trying to get everything right there. So I thought that was good that Coach Mirabal said that to Coach Ponce, and obviously Coach Ponce is certainly excited to be back in Miami. He's excited to work with these guys. He said he recruited all three of the main quarterbacks, and Tyler, Jake, and Jakari there when he was at different schools, but just he recruited them, got to know them a little bit before he's coaching them now. He likes all three of these guys, and we've seen signs already that all three of these guys through the first 4 practices can make plays, and I think that's what you want to keep seeing. So they said good things, Coach Smith and Coach Field as well. We didn't get any players after practice today. We have not talked to all the coaches yet. I think maybe on the next day, which is on Thursday. So the way it works now is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday from here on out as Miami goes through its 15 spring practices. But that's where it's at now. We'll go practice number 5 coming up on Thursday. Once again, defensive line video, linebacker video, more content, complete content on what the coaches had to say. And obviously, definitely check out all the more inside information on the team on InsideTheU.com for your VIP subscription. I want to thank everybody for watching. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day, and take care.